Okay, guys, so after finishing reading the passage, which is about sons and daughters, now I think it's the time to start answering the following questions. Don't forget, guys, that this passage is talking about all boy family and all girl family. Now, exercise number 2 is saying we have to take a look at the adjectives that we have in the box. Let me read the adjectives and then we have to answer the questions in exercise 2. 1, we have sporty. 2, we have gentle. 3, we have boisterous. 4, we have loud. 5, we have quiet. 6, we have chatty. 7, we have untidy. 8 is competitive. 9 is sensitive. And finally, polite. So the question is, which do you think usually describe boys? So which adjectives do you think usually describe boys? And which adjectives do you think usually describe girls? Okay, now it's the time to discuss exercise 3. Now, exercise 3 is saying read the introduction of sons and daughters passage. This is the introduction because we have to answer the following questions. Question 1. What was the aim of the TV program? So the aim is to answer these questions. Is an all-boy family very different from having an all-girl family? Question number 2, what is it like to be totally outnumbered by the opposite sex in your town home? So this is the aim to find the answers of these questions. We notice that we have this TV program. Now, question number 2. Who were the two families? Absolutely, the answer is Marianne and John Tibbet family, Karen and Steve Caffiaro family. Now, the final question in exercise 3 is saying, what did they have to do? Absolutely, the answer is they have to swap homes. This is the answer of question number 3. Now, guys, I have to give you the chance to answer the following questions. I'm not going to tell you the answers because you have to read and find the answers yourself. Please, guys, you have to practice your comprehension skill because absolutely I have to fully understand the passage just to be able to fully understand the questions. I'm going to specify 1 minute for each question to be answered. Okay, now guys, let's talk about the family. So this text is about the family, and this text is about the family. This text or these two texts are about the swap. This is it. But now let's talk about the family. So please, to find out the answers, you have to read these two paragraphs about the two families. So as I told you, I'm going to specify 1 minute for you just to find the answer. Please read carefully and try to be fast in finding the answers. So, question number 1. What jobs do the parents do in the first family? Now, the next question is, what jobs do the parents do in the second family? Okay, now question number two. Please, guys, you can zoom the page in just to be able to see the passages clearly. Now, question number two about the family. How long have they been married? Okay, now the same question for the second family. How long have they been married? Okay, now the next question. But before answering the next question, please, guys, don't forget that you have to do the math to be able to answer this question, which is how long have they been married? Okay, so please be careful. And I think you have to do the math just to be able to answer this question. Question number three. Why did they want a big family in the first family? Okay, now the same question for the next or the second family. So, why did they want a big family? Okay, now the next question is, why are the husbands happy with their families? Please find the answer in both families. So, why are the husbands happy with their families? Okay, now the final question about the family is how do the children behave and do they get on well? So please find the answers in both families. Okay, this is it. This is about the family. Now let's talk about the swap. So notice, guys, that the two passages about about the swap. This is the first passage about the first family about the swap, and this is the second passage about the second family, which is about the swap. So you have to read here just to be able to find the answers. Okay, let me erase my board just to be able to read clearly. So guys, again, you can zoom the page and just to be able to see the passages clearly. As I told you, I'm going to specify 1 minute to answer every question. So, question number 6. What were the parents' first impressions when they swapped families? Okay, now question number 7 about the swap is saying, what differences did they find? Okay, now the final question about the swap is saying, do you think boys or girls are harder to bring up? Okay, guys, so this is it. I need you to notice that I have to read carefully and I have to understand the passage just to be able to answer the questions. I hope that you answered all the questions. So please, guys, you have to practice your comprehension skill just to be able to be faster in reading and to learn how to get the idea from any passage. Okay, now guys, the next exercise is about speaking. I'm going to give you 1 minute to speak the answer up. So let me ask you the first question, which is saying, what are the pros and cons of all girl or all boy families? Keep in mind that pros and cons mean the advantages and disadvantages of having all girl or all boy families. Okay, now the next question is, what is the ideal family? Okay, the next question is saying, how many children is the ideal according to you? Now, after telling you the answer, I have to ask you why. Okay, now the final question is, are there many house rules in your family? Okay, now what are these rules? Okay, now the final question is, do you obey these rules? So, do you obey the rules that you have mentioned, or do you stick with the rules that you have mentioned? Okay, guys, so this is it. Absolutely, you have to speak the answers up. Now, the final question for the for this lecture, which is the 10th lecture for level 4. Now, guys, we have a recording. We have to listen to 3 people talking about their families. Now, after each one, we have to answer these questions. Okay. And finally, when listening to all recordings, we have to answer the question, which is, who do you think is the happiest? Now, let's listen to the first recording. After listening to the first recording about the first family, we have to answer these questions. So let me play the recording. Please, guys, listen carefully because you have to answer the following questions.
Tape script 8.7. Brothers and sisters. 1. David.
I'm one of 3 brothers. I'm the middle one. There was just Mark, my older brother, and me for years. I liked that. I liked being the baby. But then Rob was born when I was 7, and I was so jealous. I thought he was our mum's favourite. We had lots of fights as kids, but now it's great. I'd like to have at least 3 kids. 3 boys like us would be great.
Okay, guys, now it's the time to answer these questions. I hope that you still remember the answers. 1. How many brothers and sisters do they have? Or does he have? Okay, now question number 2. Please, guys, write the answers down because I have to replay the recording just to check if your answers are correct or not. Question 2. Where do they come in the family, or where does he come in the family? The first one, the second one, or the third one, etc. Okay, so please, you have to write the answer down just to check the answers later. 3. What do they like about their situation, or what does he like about his situation? Okay, the next question is, what don't they like, or what doesn't he like? Okay, I hope that you are writing the answers. Now, question number 5 is saying, do they think, or does he think, that his parents have a favorite child? Okay, now the final question is, how many children do they want, or does he want? Okay, guys, so I hope that you wrote the answers down. Now let me replay the recording, and please, you have to check if your answers are correct, or maybe you have a mistake or mistakes. Okay.
Tape script 8.7. Brothers and sisters. 1. David.
I'm one of 3 brothers. I'm the middle one. There was just Mark, my older brother, and me for years. I liked that. I liked being the baby. But then Rob was born when I was 7, and I was so jealous. I thought he was our mum's favourite. We had lots of fights as kids, but now it's great. I'd like to have at least 3 kids. 3 boys like us would be great.
So this is it about the first recording. I hope that your answers are correct. Now let's listen to the second recording, and we have to answer the same questions. So let's start.
2. A girl called Peter.
My mum and dad called me Peter when I was born because they wanted a boy. Then they had 4 boys after me. I don't like being the eldest of so many boys, and I don't like my name. I'm going to change it to Petra when I'm 18. I quite like the baby, Henry. He's everybody's favourite. But I hate the others. They're annoying and very boring. All they do is play noisy computer games and talk about football. I don't want any children when I grow up. Well, maybe one daughter.
Okay, so this is about the second recording. Now let's answer the same questions. Number 1, how many brothers and sisters does she have? Okay, so please write the answers down because I want to replay the recording just to check if your answers are correct or maybe you have a mistake. Question number 2, where does she come in the family? The first one, the second one, the third one, etc. Okay, now the next question is, what does she like about her situation? Okay, the next question is, what doesn't she like about her situation? Okay, the next question is, does she think her parents have a favorite child? Okay, the final question is, how many children does she want? Okay, guys, so this is it. This is about the second recording. Now, absolutely, I have to replay the recording because you have to check your answers. So let me replay the recording about the second recording.
It'd be great.
2. A girl called Peter.
A girl called Peter. Okay, guys. So this is Peter, sorry. So please listen carefully. Not Peter, but Peter. Okay, so let's listen. And please, you have to check your answers out.
My mum and dad called me Peter when I was born because they wanted a boy. Then they had 4 boys after me. I don't like being the eldest of so many boys, and I don't like my name. I'm going to change it to Petra when I'm 18. I quite like the baby, Henry. He's everybody's favourite. But I hate the others. They're annoying and very boring. All they do is play noisy computer games and talk about football. I don't want any children when I grow up. Well, maybe one daughter.
So this is it. This is about the second recording. I hope that you answered all the questions correctly. Now we have to listen to the third recording, and absolutely we have to answer the same questions. So please listen carefully. Recording number 3.
3. Stuart.
I'm an only child. My mum and dad divorced when I was just 3 years old, so I grew up with just my mum. I love my mum, but I didn't like the situation. I was her whole world. This was difficult for me. Then, when I was 13, she married again, and that was difficult too. It took me a long time to get on with my stepdad. He's really nice, but I was jealous of him for years. I've just got married. My wife's an only child too, and we both definitely want to have lots of children.
So this is it. This is the third recording. Now, absolutely, we have to answer the questions. Question number 1. How many brothers and sisters does he have? Okay, question number 2 is saying, where does he come in the family? The first one, the second one, etc. Okay, now the next question is, notice guys that both the questions have the same answer, which is the only one. Okay. Now, question number 3. What does he like about his situation? Okay, the next question is, what doesn't he like about the situation? Okay, the next question is, does he think his parents have a favorite child? Okay, now the final question is, how many children does he want? Okay, guys, so this is it. Now let me replay the recording just to check your answers if you have any mistake. So let me replay the final recording.
I'm an only child. My mum and dad divorced when I was just 3 years old, so I grew up with just my mum. I love my mum, but I didn't like the situation. I was her whole world. This was difficult for me. Then, when I was 13, she married again, and that was difficult too. It took me a long time to get on with my stepdad. He's really nice, but I was jealous of him for years. I've just got married. My wife's an only child too, and we both definitely want to have lots of children.
Okay, guys, so this is it. This is everything about all-boy family and all-girl family, and which is about girls and boys. So I hope that you have fully answered. Now I think it's the time to discuss lecture 11, which is the next class. So see you soon. Thank you so much.